Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. I want to show us how we can write off invoices. So maybe those invoices have gone bad and then you decide to write them off in group. So but not individually but in group. Now this is only possible when you make use of QuickBooks Accountant or QuickBooks Enterprise Solution, where you see this accountant menu. Okay, so as you click on accountant menu, you go to client data review, then you click on write off invoices. So we're going to write off invoices. Now once you take it to this, the next thing you do, you can select your criteria for the age. Is it 120 days or more than 180 days? There is no invoice that is more than 180 days. Let's select 120. There is one invoice. I can decide to review the period for the whole year. You see we have two invoices. Better still, if you leave it at custom, it will still show you those two invoices. If you have a better option, you can still select here. Once it is on custom, then you can say less than 50,000 or less than 100,000. Let's do balance due less than let's say 100,000 and refresh. So you see it will be left with just one invoice. Okay, so you can also use that to filter the invoices you want to write off. Okay, now to date, it can be this date, and you can decide to take it to 18th, which is today, 18th of February. Then the transaction type can be all charges. All charges includes invoices, finance charge, and then statement charges. Okay. Now you have these two items. Let's say you want to write off the oldest, which is the 140. So I'm going to click on this. I have to select this. Then you come to the write off item. There's an item here we are going to select, which will reflect in our profit and loss account. I have not created anyone yet, so I can go to new, then select other charge, and I can decide to name it write off item, write off bad debt, write off. So you can name it write off or bad debt. Okay. Then you can leave this tax on. Even though the invoice initially does not involve tax, you can still leave this tax on. Should in case the invoice has tax, it will reverse the tax alongside it. Okay. Now you don't put any amount here, you leave that empty. Okay. Now we are going to select a bad debt expense account. Looking at our expenses, do we have bad debt? If we don't have, then from new we're going to select an expense account. Then we're going to name it bad debt. Bad debt. Okay. Then we'll click on save and close. Then we can also go ahead and click on OK. So once we are done selecting that item, class, if you do it class, if you don't leave it class, you can leave it. The write off date, when do you want to write it off? Is it as a last year, or are you writing it off today? Select your date. So once you are done, you preview and write off. Now remember, this method is very important if you want to do batch write off. If you want to write off this transaction in batch. But here you see I selected one where I also have option to select the two. Okay, but there are other ways. If you look at my previous video, how to write off bad debt, that one is only when you want to write off just one invoice. But here I want to show how to write off group of invoices that we believe are no longer recoverable. Okay, so you can see the company totaling 187,000. So you can go ahead and click on write off. So once you click on write off, it would write off that transaction. Then you can see we are left with just one transaction. So it means that transaction has been written off. So if we go to our report, profit and loss, company financial, then profit and loss standard, we are going to see a bad debt expense account of 197,000, which we just write off a moment ago. With this, I believe we now know how to write off bad invoices in batches. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my video, give me a thumbs up. You can also share my YouTube channel, share the video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you get updated whenever I make new videos. See you guys.